forget to subscribe.
Hello. I haven't done a video in a really long time. The kids are at school and my wife's at work, so I thought I'd walk through everything we've done thus far. Maybe it might be a little bit long. The video's mostly for my mom. I want her to see what I've done, but I'm happy to let everybody else listen along. So this is the big hill. It's mostly been overgrown, but I've worked hard on it all summer. I think just to weed whack it takes about 2 hours. And I've talked a little bit before about some of the native plants. Some of them edible, some of them not. These are some old mats that I found in the barn. I'm just using them to kill the weeds and make a path. And as you can see, I started first laying down cardboard, then laying down wood chips, trying to claim back some of it. And then the goal is eventually this hill I want to have filled with more grapes and lots of fruit trees. So I got some fruit trees going. Those are 2 pear trees that I just planted. I plant them really close on purpose because it restricts their growth, so they'll never get too big. And then I'll prune them kind of like as if they were one tree. And right there just looks like nothing but a stick, but those are some peaches. And then over on the other side by the neighbor's property, I planted a bunch of apple trees of various kinds. It's kind of hard to walk on that side of the hill, but this side's a little bit easier. And that's our giant sakura tree. It's beautiful in the spring. And then all those older trees up there, those are persimmon trees that never really got taken care of. And this is the old house in the old barn. So let's go ahead and I'll walk up and around. Again, I'd like to make a clearly defined path here and then be able to utilize the hill a little bit more. All right. That's our fire pit right there. Officially, the village says they don't want you to burn, but unofficially, everybody burns. We think maybe they kept animals in here at one point, but we don't know. Figure out something to do with it. We might buy some goats to take care of. And that's another barn, but just the foundation. Let's come on up. And that's the upper field. This is just scrap wood and things I found in the barn that I made a bench out of so I can sit and enjoy the views. Made a lot of mistakes this year, but I'll go ahead and I'll just kind of give you a glimpse of where we're at. So in the raised beds, even though it's December, we still got some things growing. A couple different types of cabbage, Brussels sprouts there, a lot of arugula, and then under the arugula there's some spinach still growing. That's a big dill plant, so I can make some pickles with it. And then again, even though it's December, we still got a nice Romanesco going. I put down these weed cloths around the raised beds because it really gets overgrown during the rainy season. So it's similar to in South Florida in the summertime. Everything grows really fast because it's hot and a lot of rain. That's a more overgrown arugula. This is I think garlic that we're gonna overwinter. Over here just a little bit of stuff left, kale, purple cabbage, and I don't know if you can see there's some turnips still growing even though it's freezing out. These are flowering plants. It's called mallow. We have a couple different types. We try to do a bunch of stuff for overwinter. This is garlic and onion, though it looks a little sketchy. Our marigolds finally died. Under the netting we have more turnips. When we planted them, they were really getting eaten by bugs, but it's so cold now that really probably don't need that. More purple cabbage. That's compost that I'm working on building up for next year. That is purple onions there. They look pretty healthy. These are called quail beans. They've kind of died back, but we planted them too late. they're real pretty beans if we could have gotten it into the ground faster. And it looks like the potatoes, the last round of potatoes we planted, it finally, when the plants die, then we harvest the potatoes. We know they're ready. That big long mess right there, that's black-eyed peas. We had tons and tons of black-eyed peas, but we got a real bad bug problem. They were worms going into the black-eyed peas. We did two. Ooh, it's windy. We did 2 rounds. In the first round earlier in the summer, we did pretty well. The second round, we had more black-eyed peas, but everything was eating it. And that's our compost pile. We just put any scraps in compost and then throw some dirt on top of it. And over here, more cabbage. These are the offshoots of the broccoli we harvested, but you get like a second round. That's the cauliflower still going. That's cabbage right there, it's still pretty good. Again, more garlic and onion. I think this is broccoli, I'm not sure. That's okra that's left. I'm just leaving it because I want to harvest the seeds for next year. And then finally our 3 saperavi grapevines, they finally started losing their leaves. Didn't quite make it up tall enough to get to the goal is this is called a high cordon. They're gonna go up along this wire and then the grapes will grow down. Over here's my latest project. I'm gonna make something called a hugel bed, which is basically the dead wood buried and then like a mound on top. Just experimenting with things. Our fig trees over there have lost their leaves. And then I won't walk all the way over there, but we still have cherry trees and nectarines over there that they had a lot of growth, but still not. Oh, I keep forgetting to show you. Yeah, these are asparagus, and these were just naturally here, these asparagus, and then I planted a few more seedlings. They take a real long time, but at least they didn't die yet, so that's good. And then one last interesting thing about the field, you see all these little holes here, or these mounds. Suddenly we have these big moles here, and the moles just keep right in this specific area, keep digging new holes and new holes. We were told by some locals that that if you plant bulb flowers like tulips and daffodils, that it'll help keep them down. But and then this is going to be our herb garden. We just basically laid the foundation of it. This whole area was covered with these real large, just like shrubs. I think maybe as a windbreak. So I dug up a lot of them. This one was way too big for me to get out, so I'm just gonna let it rot and go back to nature. And then it's kind of like a keyhole here, and then we'll surround this whole area inside with herbs. We had a little bit of a start. There's our rosemary that's still kicking. And then my wife's lavender, it seems like you can't kill it. It just keeps coming back. All right, and I just show you one last little bit and then I'll finish. Walk it up. Again, that's the old barn storage. It's been really useful. I keep finding useful things in there that I end up using for a different situation. Since our tree died, we made this funky wattle bed. It's very rustic looking, but I want to fill it with dirt. Right now we got some cabbage in there, but probably it's just flowers eventually. This is the door to the chicken coop. It's, I'd say 90% finished where we want to be. It's all fenced in, but I know this fence isn't good enough. We're gonna have to reinforce it and maybe put up some netting. And that's about it. We have the chickens now. And I'll make a separate video, but my son really wanted to make the video with me, so I said I'd wait on it. That's some Japanese plum, and then I guess I'll fit. And then in the back over there, we got some blueberries, but you can't see them. And I guess I'll end with our latest addition. Let's see, right here. These are 2 gooseberries. that I finally, I knew I wanted them, but it took a long time to get them. And over here, some currants, and really kind of surprising. Let's see if I can show you. The raspberries just really late in December started blooming, and they're actually ripening. Oops, ripening and everything. It's kind of cool. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for listening. I'm eating a eating a raspberry. Bye bye for now.